Guys, it's Louise with Gallery 1 Point Fashion, and we are in the sewing room at the Legacy Rental Homes here in Pflugerville. That's 1108 Legacy Drive in Pflugerville. We come to you every first and last Wednesday of every month. It's an in-person class, and it's just a mini class. They're free. I've got some guests here today. What? They're going to come and introduce themselves.
Chris.
Caleb.
And they're here to do how to cut a pattern. So we're about to get into our class in just a few minutes. I just wanted to run down a couple of announcements. So today's class, like I said, is how to cut out a pattern. On July the 27th, which is the last Wednesday of this month, is how to lay out the pattern. So you cut out all the pieces. That's your homework for this week. And once you cut out all the pieces that you want, then next week, or not next week, but the next class on July the 27th, we'll lay it out on the fabric and cut it out on the fabric. All right? August the 3rd, how to hem a pair of pants. That's going to be fun. That you guys can bring your sewing machine for that one, because we are going to do some sewing and some cutting on that day. These are all free. It's so much fun, right? All right. This is the sewing room for all you guys just coming on. Thank you for following. Hi, guys. We see you. Now, I might be a little slow at answering your comments today, but I see your comments and I'll get to them real shortly. So August the 31st, how to hem a skirt. We're going to do that one. All right. You're going to bring a skirt. Actually bring a skirt. Or you guys that are at home, get your stuff, your work table together. Today, our work table is actually this wonderful, beautiful marble counter from Legacy Rental Homes. You guys have to stop in and look at one of these homes. They're really, really nice. Thank you, Legacy Rental Homes, for allowing us to come and do the sewing room right here in one of the homes. The door is open, so if you guys are in the neighborhood, just drop by. We have snacks and beverages. So, and we are all snacked and beveraged up. One other thing. Hello. Nice. Thank you for joining the sewing room with us. Now, if you've got questions, go ahead and type them in the comments and we'll try to catch them, okay? I'm just going through announcements. We're about to get into the class. I know we've got limited time. So, pop-up. Our next community pop-up will be August the 6th from 2 to 6 p.m. at Gallery 1 Point Fashion location. That's at 401 West Pecan Street. And that's also here in Pflugerville. And it's called Back to School. It's our annual Schoolhouse Rock Back to School event. Now, if you're a vendor, jump on our website, www.gallery1point, all one word, all spelled out, .com, and go ahead and sign up for, get your reservations quick, because this was going to be real, like, short window of signing up. All right. The sponsor for that event is Janelle's Party House, and she will be bringing her big bounce house for all the kids. It's a free. If you bring me or bring us a school supply, the ride is free. So free ride. She's going to have free popcorn and icy. She's sponsoring it all. So Janelle's Party House, thank you. Thank you. Shout out to you for sponsoring Gallery 1 Point Fashion in this back to school drive. And we have a whole bunch of other vendors that may appear. And then our last event, or the event after that, will be October 1st, our annual Women's Health event. That's in October. So those things are already on our website. If you want to grab them, get your reservations secured. All right. We have a few more people that have showed up. Thank you for tuning into the sewing room. Let's sew together. Let's get into, now, like I said, this is in person. So I'll be talking to our guys here that are here in person. They're a little off camera only because I want to show you our pattern pieces and things like that. Okay, so that's what I'm doing when you see me turn my head. That's what we're doing, okay? All right, so the first thing that we're going to do in the class is, of course, you have to have a pattern. Now, most patterns, when you open them up, after you buy a store-bought pattern, will have these tissue kind of things, right? This is your whole, it'll be one many sheets of the pieces that it comes with, okay? Because that's how they print them out, all the pieces together. Then you will have this, which is your set of instructions. So first thing we're going to do is grab our set of instructions. So go ahead and open up the patterns that you want to start with. And in the set of instructions, you will see this puppy right here. Select pattern pieces. Select pattern pieces. So you will see this on the first page. It's usually the first page right here. Yeah, flip that over. No. Select pattern pieces. There we go. Select pattern pieces. Right there. So you have a simpler, less pieces than I do on mine. Let's just go over real fast. When you select your pattern, usually you have a pattern number here on the sleeve at the top. Yep. And then you will have a size. Sometimes the sizes will range. And sometimes, is that, so we are live. Oh, so yeah, we do have a little distraction, but I'm not certain what was going on outside. But if they're in if they want to sew, they just need to come in and stop, Anyway, we have the sizes here. So the size right there, right underneath you. So, each view will be numbered. So on here, number 1 and number 2. Usually it's a front view or a back view of each. Yeah, the different styles. So sometimes they'll have a front view, back view of each style. Mine just has a 1 and a 2, or the front one style of the back view of one style and the back view of another, because the front view is right here on the front. That makes sense? So mine's a little weak and wonky. It's a little old too. It's an older pattern. All right, so you have located, let me just go over real fast. If you don't know which size to do what on the back, just to give you to get you familiar with it, on the back of each pattern will have a description, which is your first block. Your second block will be usually where it says fabrics. So the preferred fabrics, usually in the second block, is what each pattern should list. For instance, this one is broadcloth, chambray, etc. All right. The next thing what you see is notions. Now, notions are your buttons, your zippers, your hook and eyes. All of those things should be listed on the back under notions. And then you'll see body measurements. And then at the top of those body measurements, they usually go by size. Right underneath there, like mine has, each one has corresponding with this one, for instance, view 1 dress. So view 1 and the dress, and then you go across and it has USA sizing. So you're following that? Does that make any sense? You'll probably up there. Yeah. And it'll say, mine says USA only, or the size is like size 8, size 10, size 12. And if you follow down to view, the first view, it should give you some dimensions as to how many yards you need for that to make that outfit. So mine is a dress. How many yards do I need for a size 10, which is myself? Size 10 view dress is 3 1/8 yards. So it's sort of like a little chart. You just follow the chart down. Now, if you guys get confused or you need more information, keep in mind we have all of these classes online that you can sign up for that we extensively go over. These are just little mini classes to get you started. All right, so that's all of that. If you have any questions on that, go ahead and type them in the comments and I'll try to get to those as soon as possible. So now we're back to the instructions. So pull back out your instructions. We're on the select pattern pieces and this is what it looks like, right? A bunch of numbers, each one corresponding letters or numbers. And what are yours? Letters or numbers?
Letters.
Right here. Numbers and letters. Mm-hmm. And there's a key, a secret decoder ring at the bottom. So the secret decoder ring is at the bottom. So how do I know which piece that I'm supposed to use? So with that question, you're going to go to which view you're going to have. So with mine, I have different views, view 1 and view 2, right? So if I say I want dress view 1 and I go to my size range, usually the views are there by size range, just right here. So you will see whichever one that you are working with. These are the number of pieces. These are the pieces that you need. And it'll list out pieces used. So they're telling you a secret decoder of what it takes to actually, it's like an engineering degree, right? Just like, it's crazy, right? So if you didn't have, there's some key at the top of the keys at the top will tell you this is what it's going to look like if it's the pattern printed side down, and this is what it's going to look like if it's the pattern printed side up. So those are things to look for. We're going to learn more about those next class, which is on the 27th. And so we have to find out, number one, our view. So select a view and we'll follow through with that. You guys going to do A. I'm going to do view 1 on mine. Okay. And the size. So make sure you have the corresponding size that you want to do. Which size did you guys want to pick? Because I bet you got a range of sizes, as well as you guys. I hope that you guys are following along. We are at the Legacy Rental Homes. I'm in one of the homes, and this table and this counter actually in the kitchen is perfect because it's big enough and wide enough to actually do our project. So keep that in mind when you're looking for a rental home. You never know. Okay, so we got the size, we have our view, and then it should say pieces, user uses pieces, right there, uses pieces. So that is telling you what pieces that you need to cut out. So if you're doing that, let's locate one of those pieces. You have 1, 2, I'm reading upside down, 5, 6, and 7. So you're going to open up your tissue paper to those numbers on the tissue paper. Now mine are letters, and mine have corresponding letters that I need to open, right? Per size. All right. Once you get that, I hope you guys can see online. All right, you've identified which ones, and the other ones we're going to put aside. We're just only going to pick one piece right now, and we'll put the rest aside. How's that? Because otherwise we'll probably run out of room. I'll put this aside for just a second. All right. You will need some paper scissors, not fabric scissors, paper scissors. Why do we use paper scissors? Because if we use our fabric scissors on paper, they tend to get dull. and they don't work as well. They don't work on fabric anymore after that. So we're using paper scissors today. If you need those kind of supplies or whatever and you're not sure, just go on our website again under boutique, under Learning Center, and you will see some tools that you'll need. We discussed some of those tools earlier in other segments as well. So paper scissors. And for this segment, we're going to use a highlighter as well, which I'm going to share with my friends here. All right. So we identified which piece we're going to start with. A lot of times it's wrinkled because it's been in a package and you see all those wrinkles in there. You can use a dry iron to iron everything out. A little secret that my grandmother used to do is we used to, I know part of her thing is that she had favorites, like favorite patterns she would use over and over again. So what she would do is take some iron-on stabilizer, and she would iron it on the back of the pattern before she cut it. And that made it stiff and made it live a little bit longer. So then she would cut the pieces out. So she wouldn't have to cut it twice if she ironed on the, so if you don't do that, if you do cut out your pieces first, then you can still iron it onto the stabilizer to make it, because it's your favorite, right? But you'd have to cut around where the stabilizer stuck out to make sure you got your right fit, okay? All right, each one is actually engineered to where the sizing, I have a really good one, here we go. We'll pick J as one we're gonna actually cut out. If you look around the piece that you want, you will see solid lines, right? You will see solid lines, and then you will see dotted lines, okay? Solid lines typically in a pattern means it's for all sizes, typically. The dotted ones usually mean these are for that particular size, okay? And each one will have a number at the size of where it corresponds. So if you look here on his, the first line, that solid line is number 14. The next one will be 12. And that's the line that you follow in order to cut a size 12. And so on. A size 10, you're going to cut this one, and a size 8, which is the smallest that you go on that pattern. Mine is a little different because it's a little bit older. So if you look and see my dashed line right here, that is actually for all sizes. And then the straight lines have corresponding numbers, which are my size numbers, size 16, 14, and 12. 12 being the smallest one inside. So if I was to cut a size 12 on this pattern piece, I would follow the size 12 line. All right, questions? So unfold your tissue paper, iron it with a dry iron if you want to. On each piece of pattern, and I will show you this pattern because I pre-cut this one out, you will see the corresponding number and or letter that you are trying to cut out. You'll see the brand name, which mine is Simplicity. You will see the sizes. So mine says size 12 on this piece that I cut out. It says sizes 12, 14, and 16. So all the sizes are here. I just have to cut the sizes out properly. Then you will see some interesting other things on here. There's some markings and things like that. You will see these little triangle things. Those little triangle things are called notches. And what a notch does is when I'm trying to match up this piece to another piece on the garment, this says use these notches to match it up, to match together so that you can sew them together, right? All right, so it's just your marker or your match, and we call them notches. Okay. Let me see. If you want to keep all your sizes, you don't want to cut, say I want a size 12 from here, but it's the smallest one, but I know my cousin wants one too, right? And I don't want to lose size 16 because she's a 16, right? So in order to keep that, you can either cut or tape them back together. We used to fold them back and then cut, but we would have to carefully fold back to the line where you want. Or you can use a tracing wheel and trace the size directly onto your fabric. So you wouldn't have to cut all of the sizes out, okay? As a seamstress, what we do in our professional studio, we have a pattern per size. So we have a size 12. We have all the pieces in a 16. We have all the pieces in a 14. And we don't cut anything from ours. And our pattern paper is actually paper and not, it's actually like copy paper. And some are manila folder paper. So those are our Ride and Lives. Like we always use those, So because they're being handled more often, we use manila folder kind of paper. All right. So tracing wheel if you want to keep your sizes. All right. So when cutting out, let's go ahead and try to cut out a pattern piece. And get your paper, scissors. You're going to follow the line as you go right here. I'm just going to show them real fast and I'll come right back to you guys. So you're going to, do you know which size you guys want to start to cut?
10.
You want a 10?
Yes.
Okay, so we are going to cut right into it. The first line is an 8. This line is a 10. So remember I said, sometimes when you get into some areas, you're like, okay, so which line am I following? Because I'm lost. So that's why we use a highlighter. And we mark ahead of time where you would cut. Because it gets a little crazy right in those areas, right? So now you're just following that highlighted line. And all the other ones you should be able, and maybe this one you'll need to do too. And I'll let you. So all that we did was we highlighted the areas like around the armhole or something of a pattern piece. Hi there, welcome to the sewing room. And we are at the Legacy Rental Homes and we are cutting pattern pieces today. And we have some in-person students as well as you guys online. So I'm going to be doing both. Yes, we are in the kitchen, but it's a perfect cutting table. Actually, it's perfect height and everything. So they're highlighting the lines that, right around where the different sizes are. It gets a little confusing. So what we do is we highlight where we're going to cut and follow. So that's what they're doing. And as soon as he's done with one area, I'm going to hold it up to the camera so that you'll see.
Just so you're not confused, buddy.
Yeah. Cool. I'm just going to show them because you guys did all the work. All right. I don't know if you can see that like right in here. You notice how things just get a little crazy? They want a size 10. So the 8 is the smallest line. You see that? And the 10 is the next one. But as you get closer to an area of the garment, it gets crazy, right? Like, what line am I following? So we just took a highlighter, or they took a highlighter, and highlighted which one to follow. And that's the one that they're going to cut out. Hello. Welcome to the sewing room. I see you. So if you guys have any comments and or questions on cutting out, do slip those in there. Okay, slip those into the comments. We're running a little low on time, so I'm gonna hurry through here. So you guys go ahead and start cutting that piece out. When you get to the notches, which we have identified as those triangle things, you're going to make a little triangle on the outside of it. So you're going to cut all along here. This one maybe not as much because it's pointing this way, but when you get here, you're going to make a notch on the outside, okay? And what I just showed them was a notch. So the reason why we have notches is because, I'll show you on the one that is finished, that I cut out. And the reason why, and I'm actually going to highlight my notch so that you can see it on the camera, okay? So the reason why we do that is to match up pattern pieces from a different piece and to complete our garment. Some notches are single notches. I think you can see it better now that I highlighted it. And some notches are double. Let me see if I got it. Yep, I got a double notch on this one. I will highlight that one. Now, instead of making a peak or a little point on my double notch, I just went ahead and made a flat one because I'm just wanting to make sure that I follow where I need that notch to be, because that's real important when I go to match this up, which is actually a sleeve. When I go to match that up to the armhole piece, then it is much easier if you have the notches, okay? All right. You guys are doing awesome. So hopefully you're sewing with us and got your pattern pieces in front of you and you're kind of going along with us. I love it. Now, as they're cutting their pieces out, I'm just going to go over some because we're almost out of time. Let's see. Some pieces have multiple purpose, such as a sleeve. So on this sleeve, it has a straight line. If you look and see, there's a line that goes all the way through. And if I read that, it says to lengthen or to shorten. So if I want to shorten my sleeve, I would simply fold back my pattern, or you can cut it if you're for sure never going to use a long sleeve. Fold back your pattern to that line. That gives you a short sleeve rather than a longer sleeve. That makes sense? So on there, did you guys get that part that I'm showing? So such as a sleeve, you've got these lines on a sleeve piece. I'll make sure you get the notch. Go this way instead of in. And the reason why I say go out instead of in is because sometimes the seam allowance or the distance between your stitching line and the edge of the fabric will require that notch, that excess fabric. So it's best to do the notches on the outside rather than cut them on the inside, because then you're cutting into your seam allowance and it'll mess up your fit, you know. So that is how we lengthen and shorten, and do the same thing for a pair of pants. You may have a pant pattern that has a leg and it'll say a line. If you want shorts, then use this line. If you want full pants, then use that line. And then that's how you do it. All right, guys, we are running out of time. Again, if you guys want to take these classes now in length, we go over in detail on the in-person classes at Gallery One Point Fashion Learning Center. You can sign up online at www.gallery1point.com. Feel free to jump on there for comments, questions, or anything. We look forward to hearing and seeing you soon. We are almost over our time. So just enjoyed sewing with you guys. Enjoyed cutting out our patterns. Our next class is going to be on the 27th. How to lay all these pieces out on fabric and cut the pieces. So it's going to be important. It's going to be fun. We are going to have snacks again and beverages, of course. And we look forward to seeing you soon. Have a wonderful day, and I hope that you're having a great summer so far. See you soon.